So, are you just getting started on Instagram? Or maybe you've been there for a while, but your account just isn't growing like you'd hoped? Well, how would you like to hit your very first 1,000 followers in just the next few weeks? Todd and I have built our personal following up to over 37,000 followers. But more importantly, we have taught others how to quickly grow their accounts, like Kim Souza here, who we helped quickly to grow her new account to over 17,000 followers and her husband Kevin's account to over 11,000 followers. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the very top 5 Instagram tips to get your very first 1,000 followers as fast as possible. Now, as I get started, I totally realize that you may be a bit frustrated with your current lack of growth, or that you may be just a bit overwhelmed at the thought of how you're supposed to grow to thousands of followers when you currently have maybe a handful. And I get it, we have been there. When we first decided to build our business on Instagram, I started with just maybe 60 friends and family following me. But here's the thing, if you implement each and every one of these 5 tips, you will very quickly start growing your following. Plus, I'll even show you how to create an advantage over the big accounts. So make sure that you watch this video to the very end to get all 5 tips. And as your reward for focusing your YouTube click-happy mind to the very end of the video, I will even throw in a hack to make it even easier for you. Tip number 5 is to spy on the competition. Now, unlike in sports or in business, this isn't an unethical or a bad thing at all. It's just smart. If you want to create great results, tons of followers and massive engagement, then you need to study what is currently working best in your industry, in your niche on Instagram. So what does that look like? Well, let's say that your niche or your industry is fitness. Maybe you're building a fitness coaching business online. So within Instagram, head to the Explore tab and search for the hashtag fitness coach. Here you will see all of the top performing posts for your specific industry. What types of images are working well? Look for patterns in colors, angles, perspectives, composition. Click on some of the pictures and look for patterns that you can identify in the captions. What are those patterns? What hashtags are they using? Write these patterns down and use them as inspiration for creating your very own content. Now, on top of studying the top posts in your industries, head over to the Insights tab and look for your top performing posts as well. Here you will see what is working best for you. When you see what works best for you, you definitely want to double down and create more of that type of content. Now, tip number 4 is to consistently post like a pro. If you are new to Instagram or you have a busy life like me, chasing around 2 young kiddos, it's really easy to forget to make posts every day. So I highly recommend checking out something like Planoly that allows you to schedule your posts, even plan out your stories for a week or more. If you aren't currently familiar with how to use Planoly, I'll have a link down further in the description, and I'll have a card up in the upper right corner where I teach you. I do a full tutorial on how to use it. But it's a very helpful tool when it comes to staying consistent with your posting. Now, it's a great idea to plan a post for each weekday on Planoly with a great engaging caption and your hashtags so that you have at least 5 going out each and every week. Then you can add to that with any spur of the moment posts that you want to make as well. Plus, it's a good idea to have at least 1 story post scheduled per day as well. Now, when you're creating content to post, it's important to keep in mind that the image itself should be visually appealing. Now, while things don't have to be picture perfect, and I honestly prefer when they're not, they should be at least interesting to look at. It needs to be interesting enough to get people to stop their scroll and to read your caption. Here is a great example of that. It's not a staged, picture-perfect, photoshopped image, but an interesting image that made me stop my scroll. It uses a good contrast of light and dark, of blur and focus. This is an image that makes me want to stop and read the caption and figure out the story behind it. And this is another example of a not picture perfect yet interesting image that is very different from the last image. There's no makeup on, there's actually some tears if you look closely. Her face is kind of puffy because she's been crying, and you get a beautiful visual from that gold tile wall behind her. It's interesting enough for me to pause my scroll. Now, tip number 3, use growth boosting hashtags. Now, I'm sure that at some point you've heard from somebody that you should be using hashtags. But are you strategically using hashtags that will promote the growth of your account? It's all too easy to just throw in a few hashtags at the end of a post without much thought and call it a day. But it's pretty unlikely to have any real effect on your account. Those hashtags that you just throw in as an afterthought are probably hugely popular hashtags and very competitive. So your post probably won't show up for it. Instead, this is what you should be doing. You want to choose a variety of hashtags. Now they allow you to use up to 30, so use 30. But don't just grab any random hashtags. Do some research beforehand so that you can find the right hashtags to use. You can save these in Planoly, on a notepad on your phone, or in a document on your computer, but you want to research hashtags that are specific to your industry or your niche and pay close attention to the numbers of times that those hashtags are used on Instagram. You want to create a pool of hashtags to draw from each of these categories. First category, under 50,000 times used. Then between 50 and 200,000 times used. Then between 500,000 and 1 million times used. Plus, you want super hyper relevant hashtags that are very, very specific to what you do. They might have a very small user base that would be interested in that, but you have the opportunity to really tap into a small, loyal, and engaged audience this way. And number 5, just the huge, mega popular hashtags that are used over 1 million times. Now what's great is that you only have to do this research one time. That's it. And then you save it. And then when you make a post and you just want to pull out 5 hashtags from each of those categories, and that'll get you to 25 hashtags. Now you do want to make sure that you're not just using the same whole group of hashtags with every single post. You really want to mix and match this every time. Otherwise you can find yourself what's called shadow banned by Instagram, where you really aren't going to show up for any of those hashtags once Instagram realizes you keep using the same ones. Now, using this strategy, you can tap into the lower hanging fruit of hashtags, if you will, where you actually have a bigger opportunity to show up on that Explore tab for the less popular hashtags. Then, as your post performs well with those lesser used hashtags, Instagram may well start sharing your post on those more popular hashtags as well. Now, tip number 2 is purposeful engagement. And truthfully, I hate to say it because I love an automated hack as much as anyone else, and probably even more so as just a crazy busy hot mess mom. I seriously have very little time to do this kind of stuff. But the age of automating your Instagram engagement with bots is coming to an end. The platform has gone to great lengths to shut down these types of services, and you can easily find yourself with very little true engagement if you try to use automation these days. Now, the good news is that you can be very strategic and purposeful in your engagement and really get it done quickly while still creating an engaged and active community. So what does purposeful engagement look like? Well, number 1, it's replying to every comment that you receive on your posts with a meaningful response or a question, not just emojis. You should aim for at least 4 words, and asking questions that get them to respond back to you is honestly perfect. It creates more engagement. Number 2, the most important time for your post is within the first 60 minutes after posting. The more views, the more likes, the more comments that it receives during that time, during that 60-minute block, the more that the Instagram algorithm will promote it. So you want to plan to be active and engaging with people on Instagram sometime during that 60-minute window. Then people will end up checking out your account during that time, and they will see the latest post right away and can engage on it. Number 3, go through and like all of the comments on your latest post right after making a new post. Now, this can spur people to head back to your account, and they can engage with your new post during that 60-minute window. And then step number 4, even if you only have 10 minutes a day, use that time to look up hashtags relevant to your niche, your industry, and engage with that content. Reply to people's comments, asking engaging questions. Comment with helpful insights, add value, or even ask the creator a question. Even just liking other people's comments on a very popular post can cause those people to go check out your account. Now, please note that I'm definitely not telling you to spam other people's posts with self-promotion. Just engage and give value so other people will want to check you out. You may have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk's $80 strategy for engagement. He teaches folks to look up 10 hashtags for your niche and leave your 2 cents, meaning add value, to 9 posts for each of those 10 hashtags every single day. And honestly, I've seen small accounts create massive engagement and growth with this. But seriously, leaving a meaningful message on 90 posts a day, if you have time for it, go for it. Do it. But if you are like the rest of the world and you don't have time for that because you're taking care of kids or you're working full time or you have other parts to your business, just set an alarm for 10 minutes, once, twice, 3 times a day, and just during that focused 10-minute block, do all that you can. Simply scale your activity based on the amount of time that you have, but every little bit counts. Now, you may be wondering if engagement is important, and truthfully, it's huge. You will grow much faster when people are engaged with you. The more people engage on your content, the more Instagram will show your content to new people, helping you grow faster. But it's also really important to note that the more engaged an audience is, the more likely they are to take the next step with you. So if you are a business owner and you're offering some free tip sheet in your bio link to build your email list, or you're promoting a product or a service, someone who actually engages with your post is much more likely to take that next step, to opt into your capture page, or to make a purchase that you recommend. Much more so than any old person who has chosen just to follow your account. Now, a smaller account with very high engagement will make you much more money than a larger account with low engagement. It's honestly more about the engagement that you get than the number of followers that you have. Plus, the more engagement that you get, the faster your followers will grow anyway. So, long story short, yes, engagement matters, and it's well worth your time. And now, this next tip is pure gold. Tip number 1. Oh, and don't forget about the bonus hack coming afterwards that will make all of this easier, just for those of you who have the stamina to stick with me to the end. All right, tip number 1 is to send out a personalized voice message or video message to 5 new followers each and every day. And if you're not at the point yet where you have 5 new followers each day, don't worry, it can just be 5 people who've interacted on one of your posts. This honestly takes maximum 20 seconds per message. Very little time, and it has a huge return on that time investment. When you send them a personalized message where you actually say their name, maybe welcome them to your community, telling them how you help people, what you do, and maybe asking them a question like what kind of content they'd like to see, that can really impress people. Just the fact that you took the time to create a personal message for that person, it can really resonate with them. This can truly create very loyal and very engaged fans here on Instagram. Plus, when you are personally engaging with people in direct message, it will actually help you show up in their newsfeed. If they interact with you, they will see your posts in their newsfeed. And any video or voice message carries more weight with Instagram than just a written text-based message. Now, this is where someone who is just starting out has a bit of an advantage and can really crush this. Larger accounts who have tons of followers and are getting tons of likes and new followers every day, there's no way that they can personally interact with all of those people or even just a fraction. And a smaller account really has the opportunity to nurture a relationship with a new person who finds their page, having longer conversations with them in Messenger and building a really good relationship with each of those individuals. Now, those strong connections that you make now as you're just getting started will not only help you grow, but those are the people who are likely to stick with you for years to come. Personally, many of the folks that we were able to have those one-on-one interactions with when we were first getting started, they are still in our community today, and they're our biggest fans and biggest repeat customers. These interactions will definitely pay out in the long run. Now, how about a quick little tip to make this all easier? Did you know that you can follow the top hashtags for your niche so that those posts just show up in your newsfeed? So instead of having to look up the individual hashtags and find posts to engage with every day, you can just engage with them naturally as you're scrolling through your newsfeed. You can go ahead and do this for all 10 of your top hashtags, because let's face it, you probably spend some time scrolling through Instagram anyway. This just makes the day-to-day work part of Instagram much easier and more natural. Now, if you totally want to crush Instagram, you will definitely want the help of some free handy-dandy little apps and tools to help you create great content and manage your Instagram account. So the next video that you need to watch is either in the top right corner of your screen or within the description for this video. click on that and watch that one next. Again, this is Leah Rae from ToddandLeahRae.com, and I'll see you soon.